Get it, boy, get it, get it. Are you gonna bring it back? Okay. Ready? No, give it back. Give it back. Give it back. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Hey, what's going on, brother? It is hot outside. I love it. I love it. Ginseng. I know about a feeder, right? So I gave away, dead ass honest. I have always been. So I dig clean out the freezer. I just gave away the last little 4-pack of burgers I had. They were frozen. And I've got 3 bags of lobsters. So I told my neighbor's when his girlfriend get home from work, ask her if she might want the lobster because I'm giving it away. I got 2 clusters of crab legs that was in the back of the freezer under the blueberries and pineapples and mangoes. Again, that as well with it because she likes, I guess when she cooks it, he'll eat it. And I had some sausages from making subs that were in the back of the freezer. Well, I always push the meat to the back whenever I'm doing vegetables and stuff. It's all in freezers. If you see, if I show you my freezer, it's all vegetables and fruits and, you know, non-dairy ice cream. Because I love ice cream, which I've been studying a lot on it. I'll probably get those to the kids because they're better than the sugar stuff. So, yeah, I'm about to go completely fruits in the morning, raw and steamed and poached vegetables in the afternoon, and then every other day, just sip on some warm lemon water, my teas every other day. Why not? I'm saying it because I want you to do it as well, so you can seek your higher self. Because you're not going to do it because you saw the posts. Food industry. Industry has nothing to do with food. Food really has nothing to do with life as far as what you've been grafted into, what you've been made to believe, and it's a way to subjugate you. Just like we weren't slaves, but many POWs who were put to work even unto death, if not put in certain encampments with no weapons until they cannibalized or died. Hence Punch Bowl for one. Texas had a couple of them. New Mexico, California. Look, do the research. I'm not going to point it all out. Though they go by names of the terms and names, trust me. I told you in Europe, when it talks about the Native Americans up to 1990, it was always us in Germany, England, everywhere. Italy, statues, everything in Deutschland, Sweden, all us, no Mongols, no Mongols. I keep telling y'all were imported as babies, and the older ones were either killed off, if not thousands, because they still knew who they were. And y'all still arguing with these individuals? Let them succumb to that energy, which is very negative and a lie. Now, there are those who know, but they won't sit there and get caught up in the conflict. Only a few will, and every once in a while you'll see them. But do yourselves a favor. Don't anticipate an argument for the sake of arguing. Me, if you shake my tree wrong, I let you go. Unless you come back right, and if you don't come back right at all, you stay where you at. There's no need. Arms are wide open, but there's no need to even think that you're gonna fool me. Some individuals will soon find that out. But yeah, don't. I'll let you be to your own madness, no matter who you are. So I shared a video. A friend of mine shared to my inbox about Pennsylvania, this house that recently blew up. And I mean, 5 people inside and 2 people outside walking by, dead. Blew up. Natural gas was never meant to be utilized as it is. Now, were they cooking meth? I don't know. They may spend it any kind of way. Let me tell you about this system. It loves death. It wants to see everybody dead, and it wants to create its own world. Do you know how Negroes in America, Negroes are the anticipant. They created the situation that we're in. No, racism is the idiots. They were conditioned to be stupid as such. You can look at them now, 2020, the Nuclear Klan, and all these idiots. Pay them no mind. Be prepared to deal with them with utter prejudice. And I ain't talking about crayon color. Now, I'm talking about beyond the ideology of cartel. I'm talking about in a way that would make them want to run into a wall and not get up. I don't advocate violence, but when it's against us and the whole system is, you must be exemplary in your tenacity. Now, other than that, I would love to see them come around and stop their shenanigans, honestly. And most people say, well, why? Because those are the emotionally unstable. Don't pay them no mind. They don't even know what's coming out their pie hole half the time. But anyway, when these Negroes started running around talking about we're African American and arguing against their brothers, they sit back in their big abodes, in their places with their pristine water and excellent food that you do not buy in any store. And they laugh. They light their $1,000 cigars with a $100 bill because they know that the dollar has collapsed. Only because you allow them to make you believe it's collapsed. Because dumb people working in the banks, and some of you may have, dumb people working in the banks believe that it won't affect them. I had to read up on Jim because some things, like most people run around these days with low iron, low magnesium, low vitamin D, blah, 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 blah. But when you start putting these things in your system, you can have a moment of elation. That means you feel good. But with that incurs, remember what I talk about toxicity, when your body's utilizing something and has gotten used to fighting it? Well, if you don't find a way to calm down the source of the fight, that which goes to fight, when you start taking on these good things, it may turn on itself. So heart palpitations because of anxiety, the body, like I said, it is what it is. And if I accepted who I was long ago, I would have never been in a situation to have to reoccur certain events. Now, I'm not having them. What I am saying is you have to fast. You have to cleanse. Now, fasting doesn't literally mean complete withdrawal from a food source, especially in this time and age when the air is not what it was. It could be a placebo effect. It could just be put out there to make you think that's the way it was. That way it's on your mind to create the illusion. Yet, for the heavy metals and sometimes chemicals and radiation, I ask you to look for those little white rocks. They're not rocks. Anyway, as far as magnesium source, is it meant for the ground to catch fire? Because we know magnesium creates its own oxygen, and if the whole earth is littered with it, wouldn't that mean that if the ground caught on fire, that it would go up and continue to burn until the magnesium burns out and stops creating oxygen? I am only putting it out there. And when it rains, it pushes it into the ground. Think. Okay? I'm not one-upping on them. I'm putting things out to you that nobody else is going to suggest. Now, it could all be hypothetical. It could all be an illusion. It could be a misguided attempt on my effort. I could be 1,000% wrong. I am not saying it for you to go crazy and, no. Remember I talked about the 6 P's, we utilize 3 to 4? But they also say piss poor practices don't prevent, okay? We're still at 124. Okay. 125, okay. We're at 125. I am tired, y'all. I was out in the sun, and being out in the sun, sometimes you feel it. You see the thumbnail. You can ask AI, what did you look like in multiple lives? So the pictures that I've been sharing are based upon past lives. No more input, no directives, no directions. And it's giving me time frames. And they're pretty damn accurate. So, again, I would advise you not to use AI. That's what they call it. But if you're going to utilize it, know exactly what it is you're looking for. Because they pump all kind of information and they open up all kind of databases of information to what most people are uninformed or ill-informed about. No meat, y'all. And if your face all puffy, you got something wrong with you. Your face needs to be lean and lined, and that's healthy. I'm not talking about walking around looking like you've been in a famine crisis. I'm talking about plentiful, yet not exuberant or exaggerated, okay? So we're going to get into reading. Whew, I am tired. Make sure I got the right one. Political Essays of William Patterson? No. We don't want that. Let's go with this one. Okay. Internal. We have internal, we don't want that one either. Excuse me. So here we go. The Algonquin conquest of the Mediterranean region of 11,500 years ago. I don't have to do all that and all that. You know where I'm coming from. And if you're new, take the time period as a grain of salt. Believe it to be extenuatingly longer than what it states. Is this the right one? Dude. Let me go down to 200. It's my vitamin D, guys. With sun. Supposedly sun. Anyway, let's go and check that one first. I want to make sure this is the right. Okay. Excuse me, I hope none of you yawn because of that. Isn't it powerful? Physical persuasion of the unknown. Okay. The legendary Atlantis. Dude, did I get rid of the original one? Excuse me. I may have gotten rid of the original one, y'all. I think I got rid of the wrong one, guys. Because I always clean up certain things, and I might have hit on it by accident. And if that's the case, we'll just go on to the bottom. Okay. To the middle. Right. Right. Arctic Human Invaders. That's a book. I don't have to do that for you. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. I believe. I put some things in different places too. Just save on space. Yes, sir. So the legacy of Atlantis. There we go. I am tired, and because I've ate a lot of watermelon and drank a lot of watermelon with lemon juice and lime, I feel full. I'm very full. All right, here we go. Cool. So, pause that. We can let it play background. I'm sorry. Samuel Poe. Let's get right into it. Hey, what's going on, Ronald? Mr. C, what's going on? Hey, Snoop, what's up, baby? Good to have you home. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, when we cut off yesterday, we were talking about the Europeans of 200 years ago destroyed the evidence to cover up historical information that the Europeans of 200 years ago did not want known. We can parlay with that. It's all right. For those who do the research, you will find out otherwise. You will start putting together appropriate dates, even though the numbers are a bunch of lies. It's hard. I'm not going to say it's easy to consistently pick the appropriate or right time periods. Okay? So a lot of people know a lot of that damage has been done. The thing is to slowly, but as accurately as possible, to be an influence to find out what the truth, or inlay the truth may be. So here, let's go. That historical information possibly described certain Atlantean inventions or ideas, but more than likely that is not at all anywhere close to the truth. Now, the historical information may have made mention of Atlantean conquests around the Mediterranean Sea and other locations across the world, and also held historical information which mentioned the Egyptian people were descended from the Atlanteans, and also, the most surprising of all, the Atlantean ability to sell all the oceans of the earth 11,500 years ago. Now, mind you, either way, we try to decipher it, and the white Europeans of 200 years ago possibly did not want known by the entire world information that may point to the Atlanteans as the real discoverers of today's technology. So what does that allude to? Meaning that the Atlanteans were melanated, very melanated. Anyway, today's technology, which I believe is not the truth, and information that points to the Atlanteans' ability to sell all the oceans of the earth 11,500 years ago, which of course is the truth. And I realize white Europeans don't really care to let this be known of. And up and in parentheses it states, they obviously don't like the subject. Now, to end, we will bring this, that certain people, including possibly the white Europeans, were descended from the Atlanteans. Human evolution, of course. That information alone will upset white Europeans who stubbornly believe all races are descended from the black Bushman people of Africa. It is most likely that the white Europeans have destroyed or are concealing from the world historical information about the Atlanteans, which describes in great detail the origins of the Semitic people, including that of the ancient Egyptians, the first Egyptians, as well as certain other peoples, among them the white Europeans themselves. And jealous envy. It is easy to understand why the white Europeans chose very long ago to conduct themselves in that manner. I believe after the white Europeans discovered the Rosetta Stone, the white Europeans deliberately let it go to their heads, but only for one simple reason. They knew those Egyptian hieroglyphics on the monuments throughout Egypt mentioned Atlantis. And though I may be wrong, I am slightly a bit suspicious that the modern world we know now, or only some of it, in parentheses, came into existence as a result of the decipherment of Egyptian hieroglyphic writing. And my suspicions are directly linked to those few people who believe the Atlantean civilization was very advanced. They are strongly suggesting something important, of course, yet I am only suspicious, and in fact, I am more a disbeliever than anything else. But we must not forget that they are truly attempting to tell everyone what appears as the truth about Atlantis. Let me mark that and we can get on to the next. I hope that was interesting. Okay. Oh, come on, don't freeze up on me now. Thank you. Okay. Conservatives are mad at me because whatever. I'm gonna turn those. I keep saying I'm gonna turn those notifications off, but I get important messages, so it's taming, to say the least. Okay. Ay, mamma mia, right? Yeah, what? The Great Floods. And I believe we are at 88. There we go. All right. The Great Floods. And remember, I'm reading from the back of the book to the front. Okay? Back to the front. Now, at the present time, there are many people concerned about global warming. And apparently their culprit is the industrialized world we live in. Power plants, heating and cooling systems, and automobiles are polluting Earth's atmosphere. or at least so they think, and they are correct, of course. Yet I sense that they are being somewhat truthful and somewhat dishonest with us, but at a cost. They have to take into consideration, especially in the industrialized nations of the earth, the incredible population growth for many of the cities, and all the automobiles and other inventions that are supposedly doing major damage to the Earth's atmosphere, that are part of the everyday lives of the citizens of those cities. Now, as being responsible for warming or cooling of those cities, while further away from those human settlements, who knows? The climate conditions may still be no different compared to a couple of centuries ago. What is confusing to me is their belief that the Earth is warming up, which is very likely not the truth at all, trust me. If that's the case, wouldn't they be warming up from the fucking mantle? Anyway, I'm sorry I had to imply that. Cities with very large populations, in my opinion, should not be included when tests are conducted to determine if there is actually global warming occurring. In third world countries, there are far less automobiles and other common inventions found in the industrialized nations in use. So the third world countries and their climate conditions should be closely studied for possible changes in the Earth's climatic or magnetic. For all we know, before the next ice age returns, the climate of our Earth may really warm up. Or in other words, their so-called current warming trend may be connected in some way to the destructions mentioned by the Egyptian people in the Atlantis story. If what they are telling us is true, we can possibly expect much warmer in winters and summers in the future. But I wouldn't take it to the bookie. Realistically, if we are currently experiencing a warm up, it has possibly been in existence for at least a century or two, or even longer. Yet I believe the historical evidence clearly tells us we are actually cooling down. Was it the stream from heaven mentioned in the Egyptians' historical records that destroyed Atlantis? Now, the return of the stream from heaven is a warning to us and future generations that has to be taken very seriously, or if not, we can expect incredible destruction affecting all the nations of our earth to occur, or man-made. Now, did the stream from heaven originate from deep space, as I suppose a great many people will claim its meaning to be? Or did the stream from heaven originate on our earth? Glaciers, to those people who have visited one in person, may be claimed out loud by those observers to be streams which originate from heaven, because they obviously in a way resemble a river coming from and going to heaven. Who remembers Flatlandis? Me reading to you about the large black mountain that on top of it sits a throne to which no man can go to. Even now, nobody has truly been to the North Pole, nor flew or could make it into it. Trust me. Glaciers, to those people who have visited one in person, may be claimed out loud by those observers to be streams which originate from heaven, because they obviously in a way resemble a river coming from and going to heaven. Now, if there truly was an ice age, those glaciers during the ice age did not go unnoticed by the Egyptian people. And it is their mention of the stream from heaven that leads me to speculate that the Egyptian people possibly recorded the birth of an ice age, of which possibly after that ice age ended, destroyed the island of Atlantis and the Atlanteans' incredibly advanced civilization. Now, if there really was an ice age, then certainly the great deluge of all, of course, occurred after that ice age, and that meltdown that followed led to the great flood and total destruction of Atlantis. Yet I am not totally convinced. Let's go ahead and mark that. Man, I enjoy reading this. Okay, right. Which we are at roughly about 58, right? It's about 58. 57, 58, right? No, it was before that. Yeah, it was around 54. My fault. So, 51, 54. So we're at the Northern Africa, okay? Is it making sense to y'all, me reading backwards to forward? From the back to the front? As far as to allow the story to make sense. Well, let's go ahead and hit it. Western Nubiru. You know I hate the word Africa. No disrespect to my beloved brothers and sisters over there. Western Nibiru, Nubia, because we're going to get to the Nubians, okay? Western Nubia, near Portugal and Spain, must have been the first location in Nubia colonized by the first wave of Atlantean settlers. But the likelihood of Atlantean colonies first appearing further eastward, especially in Egypt, can't be dismissed. Of course, Egypt must have had an Atlantean colony which predated that of the Carthaginians, and then that of the Egyptian Europeans. After all, the land may have been very different then, and in fact, the Egyptian land then may have been just as beautiful and even more productive than the Algerian and Moroccan lands. Oh, this is the pale skin, y'all, that wrote this. Oh, they all know. It's just our people running around foolish and the others who don't know no better. The mistakes they keep them, and that's in lieu of the sins of the father. And it will jump up and bite them in the arse. It shall. Unless they correct themselves, which they won't, because they're arrogant in their ignorance. Anyway, after all, the land may have been very different than, in fact, the Egyptian land, okay? Then may have been just as beautiful and even more productive than the Algerian and Morocco lands. Now, from the northwestern coast of Nubia, the first wave of Atlantean settlers from Europe or America, possibly settled down to start agriculture, operations, or to carry out trade with the Aboriginal occupants, or even to make war on the Aboriginal occupants, which is probably closer to the truth. There had to be good, which is a lie. There had to be good farm land in that region of It had to be good. Anyway, there had to be good farmland in that region of Nubia when the first wave of Atlantean settlers arrived to attract the Atlantean people to settle that area. Oh, and to keep them there. Now, their progress may have been slow at first, mainly because of a small Atlantean population, and also probably because of the threat of war. Now, from the black people of that region, because they were civilized, with many civilized settlements, ergo identity, for those with identity crisis, and we're not talking about pale skins because he's writing in the monolithic way of thought today, and produced an incredible amount of food from the riches of the farmland of that region. Now, the Atlantean population certainly grew to the point where new settlements had to be planned and initiated to meet the needs of that growing population of the Nubian Algonquin people. The Nubian Algonquin people. The Nubian Algonquin, literally, people. Northern Nubia of 11,500 years ago had to have had far more land that was suitable for agriculture operations than northern Nubia currently has. Now, Atlanteans knew of the riches of that land 11,500 years ago, obviously, and if what they believed the land of North Nubia looked like. Now, 11,500 years ago is close to the truth. It is, it's longer than that. It is only but in our imagination now to actually view the Nubian lands of all the Western Sahara and the nearby Mediterranean Sea as being lush and sporadically inundated with fields of the earth's most productive forests. Yet when the first wave of Atlantean settlers and the late arriving Carthaginians first looked upon those Nubian lands, the view may have resembled just that. Don't attack me, go attack your little slave masters that my Mongol brothers and sisters. Yeah. Okay. I want to make sure, yeah, that's right. Did I highlight that in an appropriate way? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. So, I had to slowly because I'll zip right by it. So now we're in Italy, okay? Oh yeah, there we go. Tap this, remove that. Now, Etruscans were civilized and mighty long before the Romans used their might to bring Italy under their control. And I will have to single out the Etruscans over the Ligurians. Now, the Etruscans, if you ever seen the stones and the coins, they got beady afros and little knock balls, and you know, I'm just saying, you don't have to believe me. Etruscans over the Ligurians as being conquered by the Atlanteans, who invaded 11,500 years ago. Now, once the Carthaginians brought civilized Italy under their control, not no goddamn Moors. Anyway, an extremely long period of Carthaginian supremacy over civilized Italy followed. What we need to discover is exactly how long did the Carthaginians rule civilized Italy for. And more literally meant those who were great seafarers who moored on the shores. But the story is completely made up. If you want to believe that during the breaking point that occultism was what took over very fast, then you can accept the narrative of Moors. Wrong. You better go and seek out Master Farad and his 40s, 50-something identities in the period of time when it was established based on the sanctity of the de-evolution, desensitization against the original people. So anyway, when White Rome was beginning to flex their might around 500 BC, the Etruscans were obviously independent from the Carthaginians, who were living just to their south in southern Italy. However, we don't know exactly how long the Etruscans had been independent from the mighty Carthaginians, who definitely did not respond in a positive manner when the Etruscans rose up to battle them for control of Italy. So would that be like the Berbers and all that? When the war between the Carthaginians and the Etruscans occurred, it was probably extremely violent and probably very costly in both human lives and wealth, of course. However, when that war of wars, and in parentheses it states, for all we know, the whites may have aided the Etruscans, had concluded, again, hello, had concluded, the Italian Etruscans were no longer under Carthaginian subjugation. If the whites had aided the Carthaginians, that war may have occurred only a few hundred years before White Rome and had begun to rise to power. Rome was never, in its origin, white, pale-skinned for those who like the white and black. It is. Future Atlantean colonies into Eastern Europe, as far as I know, were not successful in the Atlanteans. And if the Atlanteans did in fact start colonies in that part of Europe, which I tend to accept that they did. And I look upon the Gypsies or the Egyptian Europeans as being the descendants of the Atlanteans of Eastern Europe. Now, the Atlanteans, after finally subduing the Aboriginal population of Italy, and in parentheses, both the first and last invasions end, must have gradually increased the number of Atlanteans. And in parentheses again, it says that included the Carthaginians. And settlements there. And population growth most definitely continued on throughout the early years of the Atlanteans. First Italian colony. Now, it doesn't mean Pelskins didn't exist, y'all. So in fear of the truth, the numbers very small, culpable, calmly living in peace, but under a power that didn't exist, because that's the narrative. Anyway. Now, must have gradually increased the number of Atlanteans that include the land of the first Italian colony. Okay, throughout the early years of the Atlanteans' first Italian colony, and the nearby Mediterranean Sea, with its abundant supply of food, was certainly exploited to the fullest by the Algonquins of Italy. Atlantean ships obviously sailed the entire Mediterranean Sea, but what did their ships look like? Also, just exactly how large were they? We only can imagine, but obviously their ships were constructed strongly and capable of navigating around the world, or at least the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea. Next we get into the Ligurians. These people who were native to northern Italy are fascinating, and their homeland is particularly interesting to debate over. For in some ancient accounts, the land actually stretched from Italy all the way to the North Sea. What that does represent is a related group of tribes who are closely related by culture and language, who inhabited South Central Europe on up to Central and North Central Europe. And in one ancient testimony regarding the Ligurians, it was clearly written that it was the Celtic tribes who invaded Central and North Central Europe, and the Aboriginal peoples they encountered in those European locations were the Ligurians. So we now can bravely suggest that the Ligurians were the Atlantean tribes driven from Central and North Central Europe by the invading whites. Of course, after the Celtics had successfully driven off the Ligurians, they would next encounter the Iberian tribes in Western Europe, all to later be divided by the Ashkenaz, their own kinfolk. To recreate history, rewrite it, and to create a new narrative. That's why you need to read Arthur Koestler's 13th Tribe. Don't get upset with me. I'm reading Paleskin's writings. Some that slip through the eye, and this book you cannot buy. Western Europe. During the Ice Age, southern Spain was connected to North Africa. I'll get rid of that right there, please. Excuse me. There we go. Awesome. Awesome. During the Ice Age, southern Spain was connected to northern Nubia. And that obviously was recognized by Atlantean leaders in southern France. Nearer to England than the Mediterranean Sea may have been settled by the Atlanteans. But I have to admit, I am uncertain if that was possible because of the climate of that region, even though that region does not frequently experience severe cold weather at the present time. Yet that ice age must be taken seriously. That region of southern France, excuse me, must have been explored by the Atlanteans. And in parentheses it states that includes both the Carthaginians and the Iberians. But because of its northerly location, I feel they may have avoided that area if there was an ice age then, as an area to build their settlements. Yet I realize I may be wrong as well. It is not easy to deal with their ice age theory. And for we do have historical evidence now, mind you, and in parentheses it states I do realize that it may have been altered. Now, and in that story of Atlantis, which suggests that eastern Canada, 11,500 years ago, was tropical. It was. Anyway, the number of Atlantean settlements, both Carthaginian and Iberian, in Portugal and Spain, may have been in the hundreds, with the great majority in locations which experienced weather the Atlanteans favored. As for the population of the Atlanteans in those locations, it may have been in the several 100,000 range or even higher. Of course, the Carthaginians of Western Europe may have numbered in the hundreds of thousands or even more, and it's also the Iberians. Yet I wonder which of the two Atlantean kingdoms were the more populous when the Punic Wars were fought. We're going to chill out right there. Why? Because that was a small chapter, and I want to keep it in lieu of going all the way back to the end of the book. Okay? Save file as downloads. Save. Skip over that. 303. New. List. Saving. Awesome. Let's see. So I can get rid of this one. Delete. Boom, bada bing. There we go. So hope y'all enjoyed that reading. It seemed like a lot more people, they don't want them to show up. And it's not because they're working their butts off. It's 2, that means it's going on. It's 2:30, that means it's 5:30. And so many people could have came in, unless they're drinking or drugging or something, or they have affairs to attend to. It's only Tuesday. Hopefully nobody's fired or anything. And roughly about 7 o'clock, we'll come back in and get Terra Infinita, Mr. Jones, and all the other beautiful readings. Anunnaki, William Cooper, blah, blah, God's reading, okay? And as you can see, I do enjoy to read. I just wish people would take the time and pay attention to some of the things I say. I know there's some people who feel emotional. Oh, you said something that disturbed me and it hurt my feelings. Fuck your feelings. We need to destroy those bullshit feelings together. Trust me. I hate to see if something blows up and you survive it, and how you fucking sit there and cower in your corner waiting for the inevitable. Motherfucker, you got to fight. Herbo, what's going on, beloved? How's it going, brother? Mr. C, what's going on, beloved? Well, I wish more people would speak up when they come on in, but you know how it is. And I know some people are busy, and some people are surrounded by things that they have to deal with. I'm so tired of people talking about DJ and being Khalid and this, that, and other. I'm so tired of the music industry and Hollywood. Fuck them. But anyway, y'all share this. For any new subscribers, I appreciate you coming in. Message was review. What's the mean? Why do they do that? Another moderator just handled it. Thank you. That they say that I've watched other individuals who I like to watch based upon certain subject topics, and they said that there is a thing with this YouTube getting ready to probably do some major censoring. Well, if that's the case, why don't just YouTube just stop and take down this platform? I'm just saying, it would do y'all all better anyway. You won't hear from me unless you decide to get up and make a move before they start blocking and locking roads down with M1 Abrams and Apaches and all those other things, because y'all were too ignorant to move in the first place, and you don't know how to fight or defend yourself because you're not going to be able to get into an armory. And you stayed in the places that made you an obedient slave ready for extermination. Doubt me if you want. It's up to you. Y'all keep thinking help's going to keep coming. Every time it shows up, you know the story about the woman, the old lady, and her battle with God, but she professed always that God would save her no matter what. Well, let's lose Katrina. Katrina as an example. Well, when the Great Flood, because, you know, the Army Corps of Secret Order engineers blew up certain water bodies, and started flooding that part of Louisiana, this old woman was warned a week ahead of time by certain individuals who knew of her. And you know, if a flood comes, you know, you might want to evacuate. I'm not going nowhere. And I got my Lord Jesus and Savior, and God Almighty takes care of me. So anyway, like the crow, like the rooster cock-a-doodle-doos, or the crow, you know, whatever the thing in the Bible, 3 times. I guess that's what, Peter or whatever the hell. Anyway, I felt like clean. And so these people came in their big ass galoshes. Ma'am, we're here to pull you up out of here. Look like it's gonna flood. It's gonna be pretty bad. Oh, she's a 2-story house in an attic. Oh, it's fine, honey. I'm protected by God. God's got me. Okay, ma'am, you sure? Oh, my God. Oh, it's a great God. Next you know, she's up on the 2nd damn floor. Ooh, water's high, but I know this is going to reside. They can't get no higher than this. And here comes some guys in the neighborhood, and, you know, at FEMA and whatever, not to put them in a good light. Ma'am, we're here to, you know, pick you up. And she's up in the window. Oh, I'm fine. God, my Lord Jesus Christ, Savior got me. I'm fine, baby. I'm fine. You sure, ma'am? We're right here. We got plenty of room. We can get you to the nearest place and get you on the boat and get you to safety with your family. Oh, I can't leave my dwelling. God provided this. I'm wonderful. Next thing you know, her ass is up on the roof with about 2 feet of water around her to give. So here comes the old helicopter, Coast Guards. Ma'am, we're going to lower the harness with a search and rescue you guys. He's going to put you in the harness. He's going to bring you up. Man, no, this is nothing. This is it, the tempest. God has got me. Well, anyway, the bitch drowned. Okay, for those simpletons that are so sensitive, the lady drowned. So here she is at the pearly gates with old Mr. St. Peter's. And God sees her and says, hey, Sue, how are you? Well, God, you're always faithful. You're always listening. I believe in you. And God looks at her and says, listen here, little motherfucker. 3 times I reached out to your ass to save your life, and you ignored me. Never look a gift horse in the mouth. All right? And then slap it. Anyway, I appreciate y'all taking the time.
Jail branch.
Anyway, it looks like my daughter's calling me. Anywho, I appreciate y'all taking the time. We're at 54 minutes. I hope you learned something from the reading. Isn't that surprising how the information is all over the place, but it's everywhere in abundance? But when you go to look for ancient material on Mongolians and the Mongols, all you hear is fucking Native Americans in Hollywood, the liars of history, the whitewashed everything. Isn't it kind of funny? And you would think the Mongolians would be a little upset and go, why can't we know our real history? I want to go back to Serbia, Mongolia, to where my people are. No, they've been made to believe this is a land, Cabbage Patch Babies. That's not a curse and damnation. But they act just like the fucking enemy that came to the land. They haven't created shit. 1 or 2 people reach greatness, so-called. And it's pathetic. But then they have a rich history on another land, and they want to usurp ours talking about culture vultures. We're not trying to imitate you motherfuckers. We were all brothers and sisters at one fucking time, even though they're a remnant of who the fuck they were. They don't even know the truth. This is why you see what's going on. And because many Negroes run around stupid. Sonetta and all them dumb son bitches need to shut the hell up. I wish somebody would tag that mother. I'm not going to tag and put that mother. I'm not giving that monkey no energy. I wish that motherfucker would. I remember my days in New York. Motherfucker wouldn't say shit. I'm tired of these worthless pieces of excrement believing they have a seat in the coach. You know the movie 2012, where they be like the motherfuckers when the gates go up. Anyways, number of respect, and I appreciate y'all coming in. It's number of love. And I see that they're hiding everybody, and it's kind of funny. Can y'all still see me? Can you hear me? Because it's been stuck. Even the time stopped moving. What the hell? Can y'all see me? Can you hear me? Can you put a 1? Let's just see. Thank you. Thanks, Rhonda. Okay. All right, I just wanted to make sure. That's weird. That is very weird. Appreciate that, Herb. All right, beloveds. Hey, look, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And like I said, roughly about 6:30, 7 o'clock, we're going to come back on. About 6:30. I'll shoot for 6:30. And we're going to read the other books. And you see how everything is connected. One way or another, it's all connected. In history, sometimes you have to pull back the veil, and you have to put together the pieces. And y'all are very capable. Y'all have been. Many of y'all have been, all right? And so I appreciate y'all taking the time. Man, we're going to do some more reading here in a little bit. All right? I'm not going to worry about reaching the hour point, but I appreciate y'all. All right? And share this. All right? And y'all can still donate to the books. It's $125 is what's in there. In the Cashapp. And if y'all don't know, it's $ Indian upper I Indian upper J Jim 1. So $ Indian Jim JIM 1. Oh, that's my boy right there. Boy's old lady. Okay, so let me go give them this crab and lobster and all that crap. And I appreciate y'all. Let me close this on. And it'll be a good read, all right? So y'all have a wonderful, beautiful day. Beloved sisters, whoever may have come in, and my brothers 2 on the 1, I appreciate you guys. They can keep hiding in everything they do. I don't have to say nothing.